Most women using anti-aging skincare have no idea that the products they're using have documented links to hormone disruption, allergic reactions, barrier damage, and in some cases, accelerated aging. The exact opposite of what they paid for. These are 5 products doing more harm than good, what the damage looks like, and what dermatologists actually recommend instead. This costs around $108. The gold packaging is designed to feel like a significant purchase, and most people assume that if a product is this expensive, someone has carefully considered what goes into it. The ingredient that causes problems here is parfum, a synthetic fragrance sitting near the top of the formula. Fragrance in a leave-on skincare product is one of the most well-documented cases of contact dermatitis in dermatology. The American Contact Dermatitis Society consistently lists fragrance as a top allergen in cosmetics. Research shows that between 30 and 45% of allergic skin reactions in cosmetic dermatitis cases are caused by fragrance. The reaction is rarely immediate. You might apply this cream for several weeks before your skin starts showing redness, tightness, or breakouts, at which point most people blame their cleanser or their diet rather than the moisturizer. Fragrance has no skincare function. It's in the formula to make the product smell expensive. The brand is not required to disclose the specific compounds inside the fragrance blend, so you have no way of knowing what you're actually applying. On top of that, despite the premium price, the formula doesn't contain retinol, the ingredient with the most consistent clinical evidence for visibly reversing signs of aging. You are paying $108 for a fragrance-heavy moisturizer without the active ingredient that dermatologists consistently recommend. La Mer has a similar problem, but the specific mechanism of harm is different and arguably worse over time. La Mer is around $337 for 60 ml. It sits on celebrity vanity shelves in every YouTube bathroom tour. The brand's mythology is strong enough that most people feel certain it must be doing something extraordinary for the price. The concern here is linalool, a fragrance allergen present in the formula. Linalool is a naturally occurring compound found in essential oils, and the problem is that it oxidizes when exposed to air. As it degrades, it forms compounds that are significantly more allergenic than the original molecule. La Mer comes in a wide-mouth jar that you open and close every day, letting oxygen in every time. By the second month of use, the chemistry in that jar has changed. The oxidized linalool derivatives building up over time are more likely to cause a skin reaction than the fresh product you started with. Limonene, another documented fragrance allergen flagged by the EU's Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety, is also in the formula. Both appear on the label because EU regulations require disclosure of certain fragrant allergens above specific concentrations. Seeing them listed is not a sign of transparency. It's the minimum legal requirement. At the budget end, Pond's has a different but equally documented problem, and this one has an FDA warning attached to it. Pond's is cheap, nostalgic, and widely trusted. It's been in bathrooms for generations, which is part of the problem. Pond's Rejuvenesce contains lactic acid and alpha hydroxy acid. The FDA has issued explicit guidance warnings that AHAs increase skin sensitivity to UV radiation and specifically increase the risk of sunburn. The FDA recommends limiting sun exposure while using AHA-containing products and for 1 week after stopping. It also recommends daily sunscreen use throughout. Most people who buy Pond's from a supermarket don't know this. They apply it in the morning, go outside, and accumulate more UV damage than their skin would have received without the product. Over weeks and months, that extra sun damage produces more dark spots, more loss of elasticity, and more fine lines, the things you're trying to prevent. The formula also contains fragrance allergens, including linalool. A skin barrier already sensitized by the AHA exfoliation is more reactive to allergen exposure. The AHA removes the outermost protective layer. The fragrance then sits against the freshly exposed surface. Strivectin is next, and the issue there is that the brand uses the feeling of the product working as a marketing claim, when the feeling is actually inflammation. Strivectin markets this product on a clinical-sounding language and fast-acting visible results. The formula is built around myristoyl nicotinate, an ingredient that stimulates blood flow to the skin, causing a warm, flushing sensation. The marketing leans into this. When you feel heat, you assume something is working. And in a narrow sense, it is. Increased blood flow does create a temporary visual effect. But the mechanism is mild inflammation. Inflamed skin swells slightly, which can make fine lines appear less visible in the short term. This formula also contains synthetic fragrance, combining a deliberate vascular flushing agent with fragrance allergens, increasing blood flow through the skin, which increases absorption. Everything in the formula absorbs faster and more deeply when the skin is flushed. Strivectin's efficacy claim for this product was based on a self-assessment questionnaire with 43 participants. Self-assessment means people were asked how they felt their skin looked. Expectation and placebo effects are significant in any perception-based assessment. And 43 people reporting how their skin feels after using a product that causes a noticeable warming sensation is not a clinical efficacy study. Olay Regenerist is the last one, and this is actually a case where the safer version exists right next to the problematic one on the same shelf. The base formula of Olay Regenerist is genuinely good. It contains niacinamide and peptides, both of which have solid clinical evidence for anti-aging benefits. This is not the case of a worthless formula. The fragranced version also contains mica, a mineral that creates a shimmer effect on the skin. The shimmer makes the skin look like it's glowing after application. It's catching light differently. It has no skincare function. And while you're admiring the effects in the mirror, the perfume in the formula is doing what fragrance does in leave-on skincare, sitting against your skin barrier all day. Olay makes a fragrance-free version of Regenerist. The packaging looks nearly identical on a drugstore shelf. Most women don't realize there are two versions. The difference in daily chemical exposure between the two is significant, and the fragrance-free version has the same active ingredients. If you currently use Olay Regenerist, look at your label. If parfum is listed, the fragrance-free version will give you the same niacinamide and peptide benefits without the daily allergen exposure. Now, what to use instead? And this does not require expensive products. 3 ingredients have the most consistent clinical evidence for anti-aging skincare: retinoids, niacinamide, and ceramides. Retinoids are the most important. Retinol, the over-the-counter version, is the only cosmetic ingredient family with decades of peer-reviewed evidence showing it increases collagen production, accelerates cell turnover, and visibly reduces fine lines over time. A review in dermatology literature found that topical tretinoin can increase type 1 collagen production by up to 80% in photo-age skin. Over-the-counter retinol is weaker than prescription tretinoin, but it works through the same mechanism. Start at a low concentration and build up slowly. Going too fast causes peeling and irritation that makes people stop using it. The ordinary retinol 0.5% in squalene and CeraVe resurfacing retinol serums are both well formulated, fragrance-free, and reasonably priced. Use them at night. Niacinamide vitamin B3 strengthens the skin barrier, reduces redness, minimizes pores, and addresses uneven tone. It works well alongside retinol and is well tolerated by most skin types. If you want to stay in the Olay price range, their fragrance-free Regenerist is a solid niacinamide product. Ceramides replace what aging skin loses. The lipid barrier that keeps moisture in and irritants out relies heavily on ceramides, compounds that decline as skin ages. CeraVe's night cream is one of the most consistently recommended barrier repair products among dermatologists and costs under £15. If you use AHAs for exfoliation, which is genuinely effective, apply them at night only and use SPF 30 or higher every morning. That is not optional. The UV sensitivity from AHAs is real, and the sun damage you accumulate without protection cancels the benefit of the exfoliation. Anti-aging skincare is a category where the marketing is sophisticated, the pricing signals credibility, and most women have no reason to question whether what is in the jar is actually working for them or quietly against them. Drop in the comments which product on the list surprised you most and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.